Hi Matt, how you going? How's things?
Yeah, pretty good.
That's good. I know so many people are glad to see you home and safe. How does it feel to be back in Perth?
Yeah, it sort of has it's a weird feeling. Obviously, hadn't really planned to be here right now, so obviously a little bit disappointed not to be in Europe and competing, but it's obviously nice to spend a bit more time with the family and enjoy the last of the summer weather.
How did you get into sailing?
Yeah, so sort of parents and older sister Kate were sailing at the time, and sort of bugged the parents to come to learn the sail course here at Royal Perth, and sort of 5 or 6 years old, and did my first test in the Optimist, and Jess Eastwell was the coach back then, and things have sort of just kept going from there.
Cool. So obviously Perth is your hometown and Royal Perth Yacht Club is your old stomping ground. What are some of your earliest and fondest memories of sailing at Royal Perth Yacht Club?
Yeah, I definitely have fond memories of every Sunday afternoon, or almost all day, coming down here and going out in the morning and doing some training or something, and then doing the club race in the afternoon. And we'll almost spend the whole weekend down here doing the keel boats on the Saturdays as well with the parents. So got some great memories, and it was obviously a great little sort of community down here, and growing up in the Optimist and going into the lasers and things like that. So definitely full of fond memories.
And what drove you to pursue a career in sailing?
Yeah, I think obviously growing up I was a bit like every other Perth kid, and was pretty into my footy as well, so it was kind of winter footy and summer sailing, and sort of as I got older and sort of grew away from the footy a little bit, and sailing was a bit more, I guess, the solo side of it, the individual side, and having to deal with teams, kind of I felt that was kind of my way to go, and sailing was just it was a bit more fun at the time as well.
So what's one thing about sailing that you'll never tire of?
Yeah, I think just the element side of it, being out in the elements and enjoying the nice weather, and you have these perfect days off Freo or on the river, and it's sort of 12 to 15 knots, and it's just even though you do it almost all day, every day, those sort of days you sort of live for, and you can really enjoy it, and you come back in, and you know you've had a great day.
After representing your country for over a decade, you were one of the first athletes selected to join the Australian Olympic team. So how did you feel when you heard about the fact that you were going to Tokyo to compete in the Olympic Games?
Yeah, it was obviously a pretty stressful selection period with time, and missing out 4 years prior, being so close then as well, that there's quite a lot of stress and anxiety involved with the whole selection. So to finally get the phone call and basically have the nod that I'll be going, was firstly just a huge relief. The massive weight lifted off my shoulders, but then just pure excitement and being able to go and represent the country, and that everything I've done over the last sort of 10, 15 years has sort of finally come true.
I'm sure the party would have been amazing. The road to the Olympics is a grueling one, no doubt. So how has the journey been so far for you? Yeah,
it's a bit like anything, it's full of ups and downs, and there's been some hard times and some pretty good times, but the majority of it's been good, and I've been lucky enough, especially the last 4 years, to be consistently in the top 5 in the world. So sort of being able to enjoy my sailing as well, in that sense that there definitely has been more ups and downs, but there's obviously times where I've wanted to throw in the towel in some sense and move on, but I guess that dream, that lifetime goal of being able to go to the Olympics always picks you back up, and finally be able to pursue that now.
More specifically, what's been the hardest thing to get used to?
Yeah, I think probably the media side of it, this sort of thing. That obviously it's not a very high profile sport, but we're starting to get a little bit more profile in the world, and things like the Sail GP and stuff are starting to build up the brand and things like that. So starting to do these sorts of things and learning how to be a bit more media conscious and finding the right things to say at the right times, and that's probably the most difficult.
What does your training regime look like as an Olympian?
Yeah, it's pretty full on. It's a full-time job basically. That I spend most of my time over east in the NTC in Middle Harbour in Sydney, doing my training over there on the water. So about 5 days on the water, 2 to 3 hours a day. Usually do Monday through Friday, and then have Saturday, Sunday off, just because it gets busy on the harbour. But then you sort of fill in any time you're not on the water. You're either on the bike or in the gym, and doing the nutrition side of things, meeting up with psychologists, and basically everyone, all your support staff around you. So it's pretty full on.
What's the best thing about being an Australian Olympian?
Yeah, I think the prestige behind it. I think they were saying that they're going to have the biggest team they've ever had going to the Olympics, well, next year now. So just being a part of that group and being able to wear the coat of arms and go and represent our country, it's just an amazing thing.
Very cool. In the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, I can only imagine how you must be feeling following the Olympic Committee announcements. When did you receive the news about the decision to postpone the 2020 Games?
Yeah, obviously sort of having a direct line to the government in some sense. So we were sort of the first to be told that the way things were kind of shaping up, and you sort of had the idea that it might happen. Obviously other high profile sports like the Formula One and that sort of stuff going to the lengths they've gone to, that I think 4 months was never going to be enough to get over what's going on and have a games successfully. So you always kind of knew it was coming, but it was disappointing in the end that come August we won't be competing in the Olympics.
What was the Australian sailing team's initial reaction to the news?
Yeah, I think Australian sailing in a whole has been ahead of the curve in some sense of we're looking at sort of contingency plans of what we can do even if we can't go to Europe and things like that. So we've kind of been ready for it in some sense, but yeah, they're fully supportive of obviously keeping everyone at home, keeping everyone safe with family, friends. Obviously mental health is a quite important part of this as well, so making sure that none of us are stuck overseas or interstate was quite important. And yeah, they've done a pretty good job of setting us up as well of having training equipment at home that we need to do to keep our off-water training going.
Can you give us an insight as to how this pandemic has had an impact on your training regime?
Yeah, we sort of rely quite heavily on a group aspect in our training. So we sort of had a plan of having 20 boats on the water over east to now we can really only have 2 of us out in the water. So that's probably the biggest impact. And then obviously things like the Waste High Performance Centre being shut down, that's another massive part of our training, obviously being able to go in there and use those facilities, and even the facilities like we have here at Royal Perth that obviously, yeah, it's just hard to get out in the water and have that group environment.
In uncertain times like these, it's really important obviously to reach out to your surrounding communities for support, and as a club we believe community connection is a top priority. What's your opinion on that during times like these?
Yeah, definitely. I think Royal Perth was a great initiative in getting the page up on Facebook that people can post and still be a part of that community, and it's kind of nice to sort of reminisce. And I think there were some photos going around of some teams racing with Robbie Gibbs and being on a boat with him when I was a bit younger. So that sort of thing's great. And Royal Perth's been the first club to sort of open up, being able to go to the annex and still get on the water and things like that. So that's been fantastic too.
The situation is pretty obviously unstable at the moment and decisions cannot be permanent, but at this stage the Olympic Committee has aimed at rescheduling the Games at a date no later than mid-2021. Do you think this extra time will provide you with an advantage leading into the 2021 Games?
Yeah, obviously we felt we were in a strong position going into this year, so but obviously another 12 months to build the skills out in the water and get ready for Tokyo is an amazing thing, and pretty lucky to have that extra 12 months, and hopefully we can go back over to Japan in June and July this year and August when things settle down, and we can do some more training over there too. So it's definitely not a bad thing, but we were ready to go this year.
Competing for the Olympics has been a dream of yours throughout your sailing career. Is there a dream following the Olympic Games?
Yeah, a little bit. Obviously, be able to go do the America's Cup or something like that, be a part of that would be amazing. And obviously just things outside of sport as well, that sort of spend a bit more time with the girlfriend and things like that would be nice, especially now that we're stuck on the other side of the world. But that sort of thing, to be able to do some professional sailing would be fantastic.
Awesome. Well, we have no doubt that you'll overcome these current challenges and achieve great things in 2021. I can assure you we have plenty of people cheering you on from Royal Perth Yacht Club, so we look forward to seeing you represent our country and our much loved sport. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.